Previously on the Ultimate Career. Well guys, we have got a lot of work to do in the race on what is of course the most difficult track to overtake on. Let's see what we can do. Now it is time for the lights for the 2012 Monaco Grand Prix, and it is lights out and away we go. And what a cracking start we've got around the outside at Tabak. Fantastic move for P8. That really was something special there. Around the outside at Tabak, no, we're not, down the inside. What an unorthodox move that was, but beautiful stuff. Thank you very much, whoever that back marker is. And we just slide it down the inside of Schumacher. And we're just going to brave it round the outside. What a move this would be if we could pull it off. What a move into the swimming pool chicane. What's up guys, and welcome back to the F1 Ultimate Career. Yes, we are back. You guys have been wanting this series back, so what better time to bring it back than now? Well, like I say, you guys have been crying out for this series to come back, and we are here for round number 7 of Season 3. It's time for the 2012 Canadian Grand Prix, and it's been an incredibly long time since the last episode. And if you did miss it, then go and check it out, the Monaco Grand Prix. It was a very, very good race. But, well, if you have seen it, then you'll know that we managed to finish P4 after a pretty disappointing qualifying. So it didn't end up too bad in the end. But, yeah, if you guys could smash the like button for the return of the Ultimate Career, then that'd be great. 150 likes on this series, and that'll really show me that you guys do want this series back. Next up, I believe we've got Valencia, so that should be a decent race, but at the moment we are here at Canada, at a pretty happy hunting ground for us. We managed to take our first ever victory in the series here, back in Season 1. Last season wasn't quite as good, but we still managed to get onto the podium. It was Fernando Alonso who won last season's race and took pole position. Let's see who's going to take pole position this season for qualifying. So the sun had once again greeted the drivers for Q1 here at the circuit Gilles Villeneuve. It was forecast to cloud over slightly for the remainder of the session, but there you can see Q1 is just all about trying to get out of the session, and as you can see here, coming towards the end of our first lap, and we actually get done for corner cutting. So, yeah, no surprise there. But, anyway, coming towards the end of our second flying lap, once again cutting it very, very fine, getting on the DRS as early as possible. And here you can see us crossing the line. Are we going to be quicker than Lewis Hamilton? No, we're not. We do go 4th fastest, though. So, that was just a banker lap on the prime tyres, and we retire on that. And as you can see, it was good enough. It was Daniel Ricciardo eliminated along with Glock, Peak, Della Rosa, Petrov, Kovalainen and Karthikeyan in Q1. So no surprises in Q1, and getting into Q2, hopefully there'll be no surprises for us here. You can see we're currently sitting in 16th position after putting in a very poor first lap. I believe we actually might have gone out on the same set of prime tyres that we went out on in Q1. But anyway, we go out on a fresh set of options now, and we were purple through the first 2 sectors, and that is the same for the 3rd sector. We have gone quickest in that session. Now you can see our teammate Maldonado just about scraped through into Q3. The same can't be said for De Resto, Grosjean, Massa, Raikkonen, Kobayashi, Perez and Verne. Notable casualty there being Kimi Raikkonen, it has to be said. But getting into Q3, this is the business end of the session now. And at this point, we are a little bit light on sets of the option tyre. I actually think that we went out on 2 sets of the option tyre in Q2, so that only left us with 1 spare set of the option tyres to use in this session. So as you can see, we're just simulating the first part of the session and waiting for these drivers to come across the line and see what sort of times that we're going to have to try and beat. So you can see Hamilton coming across with a 1:14.2, which I believe is one of the fastest times we've seen this weekend. So if not the fastest time, so that's what we've got to go and try and beat. Nico Hulkenberg yet to set a lap, and then he does go and set one, but our teammate's currently in P4, and then we go out at the end of the session, and it is raining. There was no warning of this from our engineer whatsoever, so we've been completely screwed over at this point. And as we come to start our first and only qualifying lap on the spare set of the option tyres that we've got, we're currently a little bit panicking, but the rain isn't coming down too heavy, so we're just going to try and put in as good a lap as possible and hope that it's good enough. So coming through the first few corners, there doesn't seem to be too many problems. There is a little bit of rain on the circuit, as you can see, the back end going a little bit light there. But at this point, we are worrying a little bit, because you can just see through this point of the circuit now, the back end is starting to go lighter and lighter. And let's see what we are through the first sector. We're actually purple. so it isn't looking too bad at the moment. But the understeer through there and through this section, it is not looking good in this middle sector. And the question is it going to be good enough just to get into the top 5 maybe? No, it isn't. We are 3 seconds off the pace. That middle sector is done for us. We can't even turn in to that hairpin, so it is not looking good as we come through the chicane. And yeah, there is no way that we can turn through that. And as we come across the line, it's going to be meaningless because we've cut the track. We come across the line, it's only 10th fastest. Incredibly disappointing here at the Canadian Grand Prix. We're going to have to do the same as we did in Monaco and try and fight our way through the field. As you can see, it's Lewis Hamilton on pole with Jenson Button in second. So no McLaren at front row, but the other Brit is down in 10th. Now you can see we are incredibly disappointed with that result. And well, like I say, we've got a lot of work to do in the race, but it isn't impossible as we've seen in the past. We went on a streak in 2010 where we started 10th, but let's see what we can do now for the Canadian Grand Prix. It's time now for the Canadian Grand Prix. We've got the lights. We're going to have to get a great start if we've got any chance of getting a podium this afternoon. And it is 5 lights and away we go. And we do indeed get that good start we were looking for. Trying to jump Hulkenberg and Rosberg on the start. We're going to dive it up the middle, getting past our teammate Maldonado. And we're up into P7 with Michael Schumacher on our inside. And that's Vettel who's dropped way back. He has had an awful, awful start. He's down into P6, we just slot into P7, and Vettel's got into the back of Alonso. That's him, surely out of contention this afternoon. One of the main title protagonists is out of the Canadian Grand Prix running, surely now. Well, even if he does get going again, he's surely not going to be able to score any points this afternoon. But that means that we're up into P6, so not too bad a start, it has to be said, making up 4 positions off the start. And we're slotting in just behind Michael Schumacher, and we know that that Mercedes isn't too fast this season. So we should be able to try and get past him as soon as possible. Maybe going in to the hairpin. No, I think that is a little bit too risky. But skipping onto lap 2 now, and you can see Schumacher has dropped a long, long way back off the front pack. So we're going to have to try and get past him as soon as possible. Maybe it's into the final chicane. And if we can not clip the wall of champions, that would be great. But we go around the outside of Schumacher. Fantastic move into the final chicane. And as you can see in the bottom right, we've got a lot of fuel to try and burn up with plus 3 laps at the moment. And that could come in handy because we've got a 4.5 second gap to try and close up. And the next few laps are just about trying to close that gap. I mean, we managed to get it down to about 3.5 seconds pretty quickly. But as soon as we'd done that, we just couldn't seem to close the gap any further. You can see it was just staying at a constant. Those guys having DRS, which is just sort of feeding off each other, I guess. So coming on to lap 8 now, we knew at this point that we're going to have to try and do something different with the strategy. And at this moment I'm thinking, well, in Monaco it managed to work alright for us, so why not go for the overcut again? Especially seeing as we've got these super soft tyres fitted. So everyone else that's coming into the pit lane, we're now in P2. And we're going to try and sort of go quite deep into this race and then just fit the prime tyres for sort of the last 6 or 7 laps. And coming towards the end of lap 9, we now take the lead of the Canadian Grand Prix, seeing as Lewis Hamilton is in the pits. I believe Roman Grosjean also coming into the pit lane at the end of lap 9. And you can see our lap times there. I mean, we're only 2/10 off our fastest time. So, yeah, at this stage of the race, it was actually working out quite well. Whether we'll be able to jump Alonso and Webber, I'm not quite sure. But anyway, coming towards the end of lap 11 now, we decide enough is enough, and we're going to go on a 7-lap sprint towards the end on the prime tyres. A couple of you guys down in the comments on the Monaco Grand Prix race commented that I should have maybe done a few more laps on the prime tyres, so that's why I sort of came in a little bit earlier. I mean, I didn't want to come in too early because I still wanted to do the overcut, but I didn't want those prime tyres to go off, and you guys said that it should be better to do a few more laps on the prime, so I took your word for it, but we just couldn't quite get ahead of Alonso and Webber. It would have been interesting to see what we would have been able to do with an extra lap. But anyway, coming towards the end of lap 12 and just warming our tyres up, we had to drop back a little bit because can't quite go full pace on the outlap. And now on lap 13 you can see us here, oh, going over the curb quite a lot there, and it's got us a penalty. Going over that first curb just sort of sent us over the grass, and well, we just couldn't control the car, and well, rightly so really. We get a drive-through penalty because it was quite a severe cut. But this is just so painful because we were so close to the guys in front, and this is really going to harm our race and our championship. So coming through the pit lane to serve, I'm not sure whether this is our first ever corner cutting penalty in the Ultimate career. It's certainly up there as one of the first, but I'm sure you guys will be going ham on the memes, it has to be said. But still, we managed to come out in P5. Like I say, the pit lane here in Canada isn't too long, luckily. So yeah, we've pretty much, you know, settled into P5 at this stage. But Rosberg, I tell you what, at this stage of the race, he was really on our tail. And you can see the gap up to Alonso is only actually 8.5 seconds. So at this point, it is impossible to try and catch him. But oh my word, we've got Nico Rosberg just going round the right side. I mean, he's got such a lot of speed in his Mercedes, and we try and go back up the inside as he hits the wall of champions, even though Rosberg isn't a champion, lel. But anyway, coming towards the end of lap 15 now, and we're going to have to try and get back past Nico Rosberg to try and secure those 10 points. I mean, they could be crucial come the end of the championship. And coming now towards the end of lap 16, as you can see, we're on the DRS. Are we going to be able to make a move to the wall of champions? We're revving, we're hitting the rev limiter, but we're still trying to go around the outside, and no, we've had to go across the, well, I don't even know what it's called. I guess you could say the ripple strip. And we're being mugged left, right and centre. We're down into 8th place. That has just been awful. We locked our brakes, and now we're trying to go down the inside of these Lotus cars. Looks as if someone's lost the front wing. Everything is going on at this stage of the Grand Prix, and we somehow managed to settle into P7, and now we're going to have to try and get past Kimi Räikkönen. Are we going to do it around the outside? Lovely, lovely move. We're going to get a replay of that, I think. And just look at this, sweeping round the outside of Kimi Räikkönen. I just love that camera angle. It's fantastic. But anyway, I think we're just going to have to... Oh, my word. No, we're not going to get P7 because we've got into the wall. We've made an absolute rookie mistake. We were trying to push back for P6. We should have just been content with P7. And instead, we are going to get no points this afternoon. It's reminding me of Spa 2011 because we've got a puncture. We're going to have to nurse it round to the pit lane. And for the second time in less than a season, well, we've been mugged. We've been completely mugged off. And I believe it's the first time in the 2012 season that we haven't scored any points. As you can see, we're filtering out into P13, so there's definitely no points for us this afternoon. Incredibly disappointing, because we had P5 in our grasp until we got that drive-through penalty. But instead, it's only going to be P13. We come across the line. Jenson Button's won the race, and we come across the line for a very, very disappointing no points finish. Our teammate's in last position, so he's also had a stinker, and it's just all in all not a great day at the office for the Williams guys. And well, like I say, just not what we really wanted. You can see there that Paul di Resta managed to get some points in 10th place, and Sergio Perez also managing to do so in 9th. Going up to the top, and you can see it was a McLaren 1-2, only 0.3 of a second separating Button and Hamilton, so that was very tight at the top, with Mark Webber rounding out the podium. And Fernando Alonso could have only managed 4th, with Nico Rosberg in 5th and Kimi Räikkönen in 6th. But the Drivers' Championship, still, we are somehow managing to lead the way by 2 points out of Mark Webber. So if he would have got higher than 3rd, then we'd be sitting in 2nd in the championship. But well, luckily we managed to have quite a cushion at the top of the standings. Button and Hamilton are also coming after us. The first 2 seasons of the Ultimate career, McLaren weren't too strong, but they're currently top of the Constructors' Championship. Williams there sitting in 3rd on a bad afternoon for the Williams team. But still, like I say, a lot of positives to take from that race. I mean, we managed to have pretty good pace for the majority of the race. So next up, I believe, is Valencia. I was going to say Silverstone, but it's Valencia. So hopefully you guys can stick around for that. If you're new, then make sure to subscribe. And also leave a like down below on the video as a show of support. Comment your thoughts on this race. And until the European Grand Prix, guys, I'll catch you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.